On your country's 249th birthday, the president signed the new budget bill into law, and his administration sent you a gift in your email.
This just reeked of a propaganda piece.
We're answering viewer questions about why Social Security is sliding into your inbox. Pop quiz. How many cars with Colorado license plates got off at this Wyoming exit over 30 minutes? You know, the exit where you can find a place to buy the kind of illegal fireworks that'll wake your neighbors.
May I be frank? We like to blow up.
The celebration is more PG in PH. We go to Park Hill's 4th of July parade for your good news. And the countdown begins for next year's July 4th celebration, where you'll be hearing a new word that is quite difficult to pronounce.
What's the word?
Centennial.
That's the end of the word.
We'll practice sounding it out next.
If you're watching us in real time, thank you. It means you've chosen us instead of watching the two worst teams in baseball, the Colorado Rockies and the Chicago White Sox. And Corey Reppenhagen, who's laughing over my shoulder, tells me that even if there's no offense in the game, you're still going to get fireworks because the sky's looking pretty good.
The sky is looking great. You know, Mother Nature's fireworks were not too impressive today, but I think we're looking good for after the game when our fireworks displays start to show up because the skies are starting to clear out. Here's the live radar picture. We'd have this one last thunderstorm that just went through the southeast metro here. Did put down a little bit of hail briefly, but as you can see, it dissipated quickly. That may be the last bit of action here across the Denver metro area. The storms in the mountains are starting to dry up, and even these storms across the eastern plains should be out of here by 9:30. So the fireworks displays tonight are on, and we need to step up our game, Marshall.
Rockies. Colorado lawmakers are on notice for a potential special session because President Trump this afternoon signed the new budget bill that will shake up Colorado's budget that just reset on July 1st. The bill solidifies Trump's first-term tax cuts and temporarily extends several tax credits. The child tax credit, for example, increases a couple $100s to $2,200 through 2028. And there's a new temporary deduction for taxes on tips and overtime pay. Those tax breaks are offset by getting rid of tax credits for electric vehicles and energy efficiency, and by steep cuts to programs like Medicaid and food assistance. However, those Medicaid cuts are mostly phased in over the next few years, so state lawmakers may have some time to figure out if the state budget can help out, although Colorado's budget for next year already needs to be cut by close to $1 billion.
Our next question comes from Cheryl, Beth, Becky, Christina, Larry, Karen, Janet, Laura, and Tom. They all want to know about this email from the Social Security Administration applauding the changes for seniors as a result of the budget bill. Normally, Social Security emails are rather dry, like the one I got in April telling me to check my statement.
Social Security, basically it is, hey, your statement's ready. And this just reeked of a propaganda piece.
Tom sums up the feedback we've received from viewers about last night's email blast from the Social Security Administration.
Social Security is not a propaganda mouth of anybody. It's a service for us that we pay into, and it's a service that the government then provides us.
The email says, the bill ensures that nearly 90% of Social Security beneficiaries will no longer pay federal income taxes on their benefits. But 64% of those people already do not pay taxes on their benefits. It's right here on a White House fact sheet. Also, the new changes are temporary, and even those who benefit may still have to pay federal taxes. Seniors 65 and older will get a larger tax deduction on their Social Security benefits, but that deduction decreases if your income is greater than $75,000 as a single tax filer or $150,000 as a joint filer. And the deduction is temporary. It goes away after 2029.
I reached out to Social Security to find out why it sent a pat-on-the-back email. It's a federal holiday, so I didn't get a response, and if I had, it probably would have cost taxpayers time and a half. Just know, the commissioner of the Social Security Administration is appointed by the president. We'll fact-check the emails. Just don't be surprised if you get more of them. The fireworks that are sold at tents around the metro area should not wake you up from a deep sleep. The fireworks that will wake you from a deep sleep tonight likely came from Wyoming. Our Spencer Soysher went north today to count the Coloradans who went north today.
We're going to Wyoming, and by choice. All right, not by choice. We got to sign this story, and we're going for like an hour. Most days, this drive on I-25 north to the state line is open highway.
Every year.
Today is not most days.
I drove from Littleton.
The 4th of July is the day Coloradans invade Wyoming.
24, another 24.
Exit 2 is filled with fireworks stores, hosting an unofficially Fire Colorado party.
Sucks you can't get it in, Colorado, but if I gotta come across the border to get it, I will.
Of course, fireworks that leave the ground are illegal in Colorado, but not in Wyoming.
I think they're the best.
We did a little counting. Okay, a lot of counting. We set a timer for 30 minutes and counted the Colorado plates that drove by this road right off of exit 2. 462 sets of Colorado license plates in 30 minutes. 462.
I love it.
There's a reason 462 people made this drive.
Responsible fun, why not?
This place, Phantom Fireworks in Wyoming, sent coupons out to people in Colorado for fireworks that are illegal to fire off in Colorado. The disclaimer on the back of it says certain states where it can't be transported across state lines to be lit. Colorado, though, is not one of them.
We don't want that stuff that spins around the ground. We want the stuff that goes up in the sky and booms.
Most of these people didn't seem to care that the fireworks they are buying are illegal to set off back home.
Not really. No.
No, not really. All the other legal that I could possibly do, not really, man.
There's a reason they went to Wyoming by choice.
May I be frank? We like to blow it up.
The hardest part of the story was not driving from Denver to Wyoming and back in time for the show. That was the easy part. The license plate situation in Colorado was the hard part. There are over 100 different license plate types here now, including a plain black, which looks incredibly similar to a Wyoming black that has a cowboy on it. And at least those have front license plates. Good Lord, so many cars only have the back one. But Marshall, if they're already breaking one state law, that's barely enforced.
You need 2 license plates in Colorado. The part of your story that caught my attention the most was you saying, we're not going by choice. We got to sign this story. Who pitched the idea in our meeting this morning?
I was excited to go for a nice drive. Figure, hey, time and a half, holiday. Why don't we go to Wyoming?
Spencer Soysher went to Wyoming, not by choice, but by choice. Thank you, Spencer. Denver is piloting a new plan to create thousands of affordable housing units. The plan is give up property tax revenue to entice developers. Mayor Mike Johnston says the program will specifically prioritize housing for the middle class. This week, Johnston and other city housing leaders announced a deal. Developers can build multifamily housing and get up to 15 years of property tax exemptions. In return, developers have to deed restrict units for 30 years, making them affordable to single residents who earn less than $98,000 or a household of 4 that earns less than $140,000. The developers also have to show their work that the project would not be financially viable without the tax exemption. Only 5 projects will be picked for tax exemptions this year. It's a pilot project, so we'll see if it continues after the first 5 are picked. Colorado lawmakers have butted heads with cities and counties over attempts to usurp local control and dictate land use policy for affordable housing. A recent study claims affordable housing is prohibited on the majority of land in communities across the state. The nonprofit National Zoning Atlas partnered with Housing Colorado to study zoning codes in each of the state's 334 municipalities, and they found housing developments on 97% of residential land in the state are prohibited to build housing for 4 or more families, or they're at least subject to public hearings. For single-family homes, those kind of restrictions only exist on 8% of residential land. The study's authors say those restrictions, plus other zoning limitations like minimum lot sizes and parking requirements, that means it's not feasible to build the most affordable types of housing in most of the state.
And I called it zoning by 1,000 cuts. Even where multifamily housing or duplexes are allowed, you see these other arcane zoning rules that work together to constrain the amount of housing that can be built.
The National Zoning Atlas says suburbs and rural areas typically had the most restrictive zoning types. Don't be surprised if state lawmakers make another attempt at legislating land use policy at the behest of local governments. We want to say a quick thank you for all the work you've done this week to help connect victims of crime to the support they need during their cases. Here's Kyle with an update on this week's Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign.
Thanks for being with Next on the 4th. Your generosity does not take holidays off, which is why this week we're supporting the work done by the Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center to help survivors navigate the justice system without ever charging them a dime. This week's Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign will help that nonprofit expand its free legal representation for crime victims. Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center makes sure that victims are never shut out because they can't afford legal representation. They never charge for their work on behalf of victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and other violent crime. They stand at survivors' sides as they navigate the often unfamiliar legal process while simultaneously trying to heal emotionally and physically. Beyond that one-on-one work with survivors, Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center also helps to train prosecutors, law enforcement, and other attorneys on how the entire system can better serve the survivors of crime. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to get the link to join me and others in giving. More than 5,000 of you have signed up to make a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. Put in your info once, and we'll split your monthly donation among all the nonprofits we feature so you can help everybody. It's meant our recent micro-giving campaigns have started with almost $35,000 in donations. Thank you.
Today is the country's 249th birthday, and it's also the kickoff to next year's sesquicentennial. Say what now? Next year, the country turns 250 and Colorado turns 150. Combine the two, and you get a 150-250 Colorado logo, a proposed bridge from the governor, and a funny-sounding word that I practiced with my 2-year-old daughter late last year. Sesquicentennial. Pippa, what's that word?
Centennial. We are done.
Almost done. Say sesqua.
Centennial. We are done.
Almost done. Well, you can't hold a Netflix subscription. You can't see a Netflix subscription, but a Colorado court determined you can tax it.
Good news is that we're all one step closer to a better America. This is a celebration of what makes America great.
And traditions collide as we ask our favorite Friday question at one of Denver's biggest Independence Day celebrations. That's next. Your Netflix subscription could soon get more expensive. And no, not because Netflix is raising prices again. The Colorado Appeals Court ruled that Netflix subscriptions are not exempt from a state sales tax law. This is a battle that's been going on since 2015. When the Colorado Department of Revenue handed Netflix $8.5 million in sales tax penalties. State law allows for sales tax on tangible personal property. Netflix has long argued that doesn't apply to streaming subscriptions since you cannot physically hold a subscription. Yesterday, an appeals court ruled that binging can be taxed. The judges pointed out VHS tapes and DVDs used to be subject to sales tax and said Netflix doesn't get off the hook just because technology has changed since the law took effect 90 years ago. The ruling does not mean your bill goes up automatically. Netflix has made a lot of other arguments about why their subscriptions should not be taxed, and those are still being considered in court.
Well, it's a beautiful night for baseball at Coors Field. On one side, we've got Pope Leo's team. He's cheering for them. And over on the other side, we'll have 30,000 people drinking beer and chatting and looking at the game occasionally. We'll have really nice weather. We have a 10% chance for a shower here early, but that's diminishing. And the fireworks display looks like we're all in the clear. Here's the forecast tomorrow. We'll have another situation where we have isolated afternoon thunderstorms to develop across the area, about the same coverage as today, although we may see just a little bit stronger of storms coming across the area, but only 30% coverage once again. Out here on the eastern plains, we will likely see a few severe storms going all the way through about the 10 o'clock hour tomorrow night. Temperatures tomorrow looking pretty good, into the 90s. We could hit 90 in the Denver metro area, and then we'll have to prepare for some heat. We've got a heat wave coming. Really starts on Monday, but doesn't peak until Wednesday. We could get close to 100 degrees.
Geothermal energy projects are popping up across Colorado as the state invests in the clean energy source to help meet its climate goals. The grant program comes from the state's energy office, which is unaffected by Congress's clean energy changes. That state grant has provided more than $10 million for 56 projects since the program launched in 2023. So how does it work? Well, in simple terms, geothermal energy harnesses heat from the earth to generate energy. CU Boulder has received 2 grants from the program. The first one is being used to study shallow geothermal energy, which works by using a pump to store heat in the ground that you can use later. The second project looks at the possibility of using technology from a Canadian company to send a liquid deep into the earth, heat it up, and bring it back to the surface to use for energy.
Their drilling technique and the closed loop system that they offer does not involve fracking There's less to no seismic risk of their activity. So it was very attractive to us to kind of explore the potential of their application on campus.
CU Boulder says a report on the study should be released by the end of this year. Colorado Mesa University in Grand Junction is already using shallow geothermal energy to heat and cool 16 buildings. The place to be in Denver on July 4th is 23rd Avenue. We got people to share their good news with us as they took part in Denver's biggest Independence Day parade. That's next. Can you say sesqua? On America's 249th Independence Day, we take a moment to celebrate the 3 unalienable rights outlined by our founders: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We've got the pursuit of happiness covered. We hit up Park Hill's Independence Day parade to answer our favorite Friday question: what's your good news?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
We're gonna see the fireworks tonight.
My good news is that I work for a facility where it is more like family.
My good news is that I just moved into a new apartment with my boyfriend. It's like a sleepover, but all the time.
Good news Friday. My good friend Spencer Soysher plays on my softball team, and he went 3 for 4 this past Sunday.
We're gonna be showing what we got, what we've been practicing.
I'm looking forward to seeing smiles on people's faces to entertain the crowd.
It's great news to spread because it's like it gives hope to the community that there is still balance within the world.
Because we're from Spain, I'm from Pamplona and she's from Bilbao, and so the good news is that we're spending here summer, just lived like the American life for a month.
All right, buddy. So what's your good news?
I don't know. I'm gonna play with Mom.
The good news is that we're all one step closer to a better America. This is a celebration of what makes America great. If you are proud to be an American, I want you to go out there and give your neighbor a hug, because right here in Park Hill, it's 4th of July.
What's your good news? I don't know. Marilyn, what's your good news?
Too much good news to say.
We're back with your feedback and a pronunciation of the word that you've got until this time next year to practice. Sesqui. Semi. Quincentennial.
Now we're done.
So close. Tomorrow is day 1 of the countdown to the country's 250th birthday and Colorado's 150th, which is really August 1st, 2026. Nonetheless, the combination of the two creates a hard-to-pronounce word that even a 2-year-old can do, as proven by my daughter Pippa in November when we recorded this after learning about the word in the first place. One more time.
Centennial.
Sesqua. Semi. Quin. Centennial.
Centennial.
Yeah! Sesquisemi quincentennial.
Now you're done.
We're all done. 25 more seconds and we'll be done here. Jennifer with feedback. I'm sure you're too humble to read this on air, clearly. You were missed while you were out, but we still called out Zip It, Colorado when merging. We haven't done that in a while, and on a holiday weekend when you're driving somewhere, be sure to practice your zipper merge, which is now in the Colorado Driver Handbook. We'll see you next time.